Do you feel like all the price comparing tools online are bad? And there isn't one to compare your local supermarket. Here's how you can make one yourself really easily in Excel. I've been researching the economic crisis we are going through. The news about recession, inflation, the cost of living crisis, those pesky electronic price tags that they introduced that could start applying surge pricing, dynamic pricing, or surveillance pricing in your local shops. And then there's the speculative pricing thing. There are many definitions for it, but to put it simply, shops raise the price of an item hoping that the average consumer doesn't notice. If the method works and people keep buying it at plus 50%, double, or even triple the normal price, they keep that high price on the shelf. I believe the only way to beat this is to refuse to accept these speculative prices. I saw this exact phenomenon at one of my local shops. They doubled the price of milk for a few weeks, and when nobody bought it, they lowered it to its original state. In this case, the people won, but in some cases, we lose inadvertently. I get the feeling that so many of us feel blocked. We have anxiety because in some situations it's like the economy is setting up a checkmate against us. So, in order to get out of the rut, I would like to take some initiative and share this helpful skill. I'm going to show you how I would research prices in order to find value, fairness, and reclaim some personal agency. It's a way of saying, I see what's happening, I am not passive. And so, let's begin with the simplest, most powerful tool we have, the humble spreadsheet. This table is meant to be quick, customizable to your needs, and on-the-go friendly. Both Excel and Google Sheets have mobile versions where you can add information in public for those shops that don't want to publish their prices online. But I will advise discretion, as some employees may comment when customers study prices as if we were all some sort of corporate spies. Let's start with the columns. First we have link, shop name, product name. You may add a brand column if you like. Then price, quantity, price per unit. In this case, we're gonna use kilogram. Shipping, if it's gonna be an online shop, maybe type, and definitely at the end notes. Now we start writing in the product. I'm gonna start by researching coffee prices in random countries that have the same currency. During the making of this video, I discovered that supermarket chains in Europe do have websites with the pricing shown online, but only for some of the countries. So I will find realistic data, but it has to come from different countries for now. It would be quite nice to have an index of all the product prices in all countries, but so far we just have this average from Eurostat. To obtain the price per kilogram, I will divide the total price by how many kilograms or other units there are in the package. Beware, there are some cases where I found that the big economy pack was more expensive per kilogram than the small pack. Here's an example of how that works. When you see a bright and flashy economy pack label containing a bigger quantity, you're psychologically primed to find it cheaper. But a few times I noticed that the price per unit was bigger than the single package thing in question. This was from the same shop, the same brand, the same product. But it affects you negatively in the long run. The second deception and pricing I discovered while using this method is sales claiming that the product is reduced, but actually they just wrote a fake higher price on the sale label. Here's an example. Let's say this thing was 10 euros per kilo. After a while, it goes on sale for 30%, but they wrote on the new label that the old price is 15.8 euros per kilo and the new price is 11 euros per kilo. Somehow in the back of your mind, you try to remember, wait, was this actually 15.8 before? I don't have an amazing memory, so this kind of table really helps me to find fake sales. It clears my vision when these types of scams are being used in our shops. In most countries, this is illegal, but due to hiding the prices online and not allowing people to take photos in the shops, it is very hard to catch and report them. Okay, you caught me. I just want to have a TSM level add-on in real life, where you can just consult the add-on and tell if something is priced fairly or not. With all the warnings aside, let's go back to the tutorial. I'm going to apply the rule for longer than needed for future proofing so that you can enter more information in public indefinitely through the app on your phone. In this way, you can get an instant feedback of how expensive that thing is relating to the others, as the table will automatically apply the rules you set in. Now that I have all the data, I will add conditional formatting, again for longer than needed. Now let's talk about the Insights page. This page will only show the results of your research, the top product that won. After you finish studying multiple products, you should name each sheet tab clearly to find it easier here at the bottom of the page. You may want to compare prices and reviews to get to that personal conclusion, or maybe you want to refuse a product based on the shipping if it's too much. I know I do. I also researched olive oil in this table, and I'm adding the results into the Insights page to find them all quickly at one glance, especially if I'm out and I only have my phone to check them up on. A tip for future vision: when the table is done, add the month and year you made it in. If something seems iffy in the future, look at what the prices used to be like in a few months or even years. You'll thank me later. If the shop you plan to buy from doesn't have an online page exposing their prices publicly, I would write here a cheeky little secret, and whenever I am in their shop next time, I will open my phone and add in the missing information. But again, please practice discretion. While doing this research over the years, many times I found I was being scammed by shops I considered fair. They created the public image of being a discount store, but they were actually charging double per unit compared to other shops that may be considered high-end. I share these findings with my family and friends to be aware of the speculative pricing where it's happening. It would be really useful and appreciated if you'd share in the comments other ways in which you saw supermarkets use deceptive pricing so that the rest of us can keep an eye out as well. Also, please share ways in which I can refine my method here. I'm not an expert, just a regular person trying to fight this big trend that bothers me. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful.